So there's something nasty happening in Britain, and people are starting to talk about it, and they're noticing the grift, because it absolutely is a grift, and that is to house migrants in hotels. Now, normally, the hotel business is quite a difficult one because you usually get customers during tourist season. Obviously, you get customers outside of that, but that's usually when the hotel is full, right? Now, imagine that the government is willing to pay you money to house migrants, and the hotel is full all the time. So you don't really have to care about the free market anymore. You have a guaranteed source of income. And on top of that, you don't even have to maintain high standards. Like, sure, there's still need for some standards. But if you're relying on the free market and you're getting tourists, well, the hotel needs to look top notch, right? Because otherwise, tourists go somewhere else. But if the government constantly pays you money, it's like, what are the asylum seekers going to do? Are they going to complain over the fact that there's a bug? Are they going to complain over the fact that the service is slow? Absolutely not, right? And even if they do, who fucking cares? Like, they're not the customers. They're not paying you. The government is. Now, how does the government pay you? Like, does the government actually work for a living? Do they flip burgers at a McDonald's to earn an honest wage? No, the government takes money from the people, right? So you have a hard-working lad in the United Kingdom, and then the government doesn't allow him to give all the money he makes to his family, to his children. Instead, takes some of that money and then gives it to the hotel owner. And now you have the hotel owner being very grateful. And this is where the grift comes in, because what is he going to do with that money? Well, obviously, he's going to give some to the politicians through various means, whether donating to their political parties or donating and supporting them financially. Sometimes it can be a grift that the owner of the hotel is related with a politician. This is what my Eastern European cynical brain is telling me, right? So as you can see now, the politicians want more migrants to fill up these hotels, and they probably find it profitable to even build more hotels, while the hotel owner find it profitable to maintain the status quo. And so if people start noticing the grift and start talking about the grift, well, that's not good. That's not good, because now you have to suppress the people. Now you have to make sure that the people shut the fuck up and mind their own business. People go to work, flip the burgers in the wage cage, so that more money can be taken and given to the hotel owner. The same shit happened during COVID, by the way. Right? Like, say what you want about the vaccine, but it was the same principle. Like, a pharmaceutical company normally has to convince the market that their product is better and that people should buy the product. But during the pandemic, the government would buy the product. So they would take money away from citizens, and the pharmaceutical company would have a constant supply of cash, and all of their product would just guaranteed to be sold. And so they had an interest to maintain the same narrative, which is why you'd go onto the news and you'd see sponsored by Pfizer. And it's like, hold on a little bit. Why is Pfizer interested in purchasing advertisements when even if I wanted to buy their product, I couldn't? It's already bought. Like, the government already took my taxpayer money and already bought the vaccine. Why are they advertising? And the reason was that they were giving money to the news so that the coverage is constantly favorable and the fear-mongering continues, right? And it's literally the same type of grift here with the hotel asylums. Like, why can't the migrants be housed in tents? Or, check to see how Saudi Arabia does it. Or how Israel does it. Or how any other nation does it, right? Like, why do they have to go specifically in hotels? It doesn't make any political sense either. Like, people are upset, obviously. If I was a person living in Britain, and I was living in a one-room apartment, barely making ends meet, and I had to struggle financially in order to pay my debts and stuff, and I see that some other chucklehead coming from another country is now being placed in a really nice-looking hotel with Wi-Fi and shit, and he doesn't have to pay for anything because I'm paying for him with my taxpayer money. Of course it makes you upset, right? So, politically speaking, it's not a good look. Why are they doing it? Because of the grift. And so, in order for the grift to continue, they have to censor people. And they're using this Ofcom, this online safety bill, in order to censor. And what ends up happening is that there were political speeches against migration that actually did got censored. Like, you had to dox yourself on Twitter in order to see them. And then there were also protests that got censored. And more interestingly, they also demanded that X provides them with any information regarding the two-tier protests, right? Where people are saying, well, hold on a little bit. Like, you're treating migrants better than you're treating us. You know, the legacy Brits are becoming less popular. It's a conversation, right? Well, apparently it shouldn't happen. Apparently the government doesn't like when conversations take place. And this is where the United States is stepping in. And the Donald Trump administration has said that it's greatly concerned about free speech. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? Like, you notice what they're doing. You notice the tactics. And yet, currently, there are 3 similar legislations like Ofcom about to be passed in the United States. And Australia is passing its legislation, and Canada is passing its legislation. And by the way, like, the age verification legislation, also a grift. Who makes the most money? Well, the most money is made by the corporations that are fielding the age verification technology. Corporations that I've never heard of, corporations that came out of the blue, and now you're going to have to give your ID or to face dox yourself to these random entities, which are probably making millions of dollars, if not tens or hundreds of millions, just based on the fact that every single social media that wants an internet presence will have to work with them. Like, they're going to become like Visa and MasterCard of the internet because, again, you have a website, you have a forum, you want it to be online, you got to work with these companies, right? And so they're pressuring activists using like various moral busybodies groups in order to get these legislations to pass. Now, if you're Donald Trump in the United States and you actually give a shit about the Republican Party, the very first thing that you would do would be like, guys, we need to stop with this nonsense. Because right now we're in power. And right now they're not censoring us. But look what's happening over the sea. Look what's happening in other nations. Look what happened to us a decade ago. Like, we're never going to win elections if we just allow them to censor the fucking internet. But, like, they don't care. They're like, oh, my children. But my children. In an age where every single program, every single software has parental controls. It's like the most basic bitch thing. All of a sudden, like, my children, we need to censor. My children. We need to be like Britain. And so, yeah, well, Donald Trump is concerned. Okay, I definitely think that some of the U.S. laws are going to pass. And the Republicans are going to be very concerned when the Democrats are in power. And when they get the raise. Because they're not afraid of using censorship for their opponents. But it is what it is, you know. I think like all of this nonsense is going to be like the pandemic. I give it 5 or 10 years before people start repealing it. But by then, some of the damage will be permanent. The internet is never going to be the same. But at least it's not going to be as fucked as it's going to be for the next 5 years. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in my live stream. There's a link to that into the pinned comment. Take care.